Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley coming to you tonight. We have a very intricate discussion to start off with for our Gen Zers out there. I have relatives, I have nephews, nieces that are in this generation. I work with this generation. And of course, as always, I want to have this discussion with our resident host, along with myself. We are definitely going to have this conversation with the honorable, the competence, the let's make sure we get to the intricate, detailed guest and absolute friend of mine, Victoria Langford, our credit solutionist.
Well, hello. Can you hear me okay? Is my audio
Yeah.
coming in?
Hi, everybody. Hey, now listen, say hello to everybody. But we
Hey,
want to
y'all.
make sure as we give everybody time to come into the live stream, let me at least get you some intro music. All right? Stay tuned. Hey there, awesome folks. We are back. Hello, everybody. As you are coming in, say hello. We are, of course, going to dive right in. But before we do that, I want to make sure Victoria can let us know and introduce yourself. For those that are here for the first time, we want Victoria, the credit solutionist, to let us know exactly who she is. Let's go to.
You gave me the whole screen by myself. I don't know how to unmute. Girl. What's going on, guys? We're doing a simulcast tonight. I am here. I'm Victoria Langford, your credit solutionist, owner of PX Credit Solutions, where we help you secure your financial future today. I'm also the author of the 90-Day Rapid Repair mini ebook, which is literally your one-stop shop for all things credit. If you're looking to boost your credit score within 50 to 100 days or 50 to 100 points within the next 90 days flat, that book is going to be for you. So I will have those links as we go on in the show, guys. So my audience is here and we're simulcasting on Mentor Shelley's channel. So if you see us both, that's what's going on, y'all. So be sure to like the video and go ahead and share this with somebody tonight. We're talking Gen Z, baby. Back to you.
All right, awesome. Now, before we even get into this, because we're gonna get a little deep with this generation here.
Oh,
I love this
geez.
generation. They are very different from us Xers. Yes, I'm telling my age a little bit because I could have had some Gen Z children. Let's
Oh,
be clear.
my. Oh, my
Yes,
gosh.
but the Lord decided to bless me with nieces and nephews instead. Bless God,
For sure.
amen, and a
For
whole
sure.
heap
For
of
sure.
cousins. So
Mm-hmm.
what I will say is this: Gen Zers are very innovative. We are not here to beat up on them tonight. Let me be clear. But I also want to provide some solutions because I am noticing and I am seeing, and unfortunately, based on the information that we're going to go over tonight, there's some intricate biases in the job market, in the workplace when it comes to that generation. And I want to make sure that we address those. And before we even get into the material, Victoria, did you want to offer anything that you may just from your observation, in regards to this generation as far as the job market and working and things of that nature are concerned?
Heck yeah, Gen Z. Y'all mother don't want to work. I'm being facetious as if I was your big sister because I'm basically old enough to be your big sister.
Hmm.
If I had kids right out of high school, I could be your mama.
Oh,
So I'm
oh,
technically old enough to be a grandmother. Bet y'all didn't know that. So here's the thing. I do think there's two sides to this coin. I think on one end, Gen Z is so intuitive. They are so receptive. They see everything. They're very observant. That is what I've noticed. And the other side of Gen Z that I noticed that I have a challenge with and I challenge to accept is that they're a little apathetic. And because they can see through some of the smoke screens that Gen Z or Gen X and millennials and boomers and all that try to give them, they call us out. But some of them become apathetic again because they're thinking, what for? Why am I doing this? Y'all aren't happy. Y'all did it and y'all are still struggling. What's going on? So that part about them, I love it and I hate it. It's like I want to choke them and I want to squeeze them and love on them at the same time. You know, I
choke
love
and
them.
squeeze at the same time. Wait
Girl,
a
just get, you know how like Homer used to choke out Bart?
minute.
Like Bart is his son. He loves Bart, but
But
he
he
be
want to
choking him
kill him.
out. Yeah, he be choking him
Well,
out. His eyes be bugging out and stuff. He be choking. He be wanting to
well, let's be clear, honey. Bart be doing things to get to get himself killed. Let's be clear.
I caramba. No, like look, it's like
I remember is right. Okay.
yeah, but no, that's literally how I feel. I literally feel like how Homer Simpson is towards Bart. Like I want to hug him, but I still want to choke him out at the same time.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
Bart be putting himself in some situations to make you really want to choke him.
girl,
But
Gen Z, they be a little spicy sometimes, and I'll be like, baby, you still live at home with your mama, baby, chill,
uh, hold up, hold up.
baby,
Let's
pay some
let's
rent,
hold
baby.
that a little bit. Let's
Okay,
get into
girl, you
this
asked, look, you
first.
asked,
Who come on back? Come on back. Let's
but
get into
I
this
love you
first.
guys, I love you guys, I love you guys.
Let's get into this first. I'm not trying to have them come after me because of you now, but
Nah, girl,
on
we simulcasting, y'all. You better come to me. You know what I'm saying?
the so let's jump on in here.
All right.
All righty. Let's see which one of these we want to talk to. We want to get them involved
Mm-hmm.
first. So it says, ha, this article is from the New York Post. It says, here's why companies are rapidly firing Gen Z employees. This was written in September,
Mm-hmm.
published by Ariel Zeiber. Okay, of course, there's a video there. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to read through this a little bit. Many companies have fired Gen Z workers just months after hiring them, and several business owners said they are hesitant to bring on recent college graduates due to the concerns about their work ethic, communication skills, and readiness to do the job. To a new survey, 6 in 10 employees said they've already let go recent college graduates this year, while in 1 in 7 said they're inclined to refrain from hiring new graduates next year, according to a survey conducted by Intelligent.com. Close to 1,000 business leaders participated in this Intelligent.com survey. Yikes. Many recent college graduates may struggle with entering the workforce for the first time, as it can be a huge contrast from what they're to what they are used to throughout their education journey. Intelligence Chief Education and Career Development Advisor Hugh Nugent said in the report. Nugent said business owners were weary of hiring those born around the turn of the century because they were often unprepared for a less structured environment, workplace culture dynamics, and expectation of autonomous work. That is article number 1. We are going to be going through several articles tonight, and I want you guys. I really want to put this out there. Have any of you experienced this working alongside Gen Z employees in the workplace with you? Are there any business owners that are here tonight that can speak to some of what they're talking about? Um, Victoria, I'm going to get your input in a minute, but I want to make sure that I want to give an unbiased opinion here. But this is a survey that was taken from so many different employers, and they're not lasting 6 months. And these are college graduates. So, what I'm really looking to really get to the bottom of with some of these articles and some of the information that we're going to present, what's really the issue? What's the what's the tea, as this generation would say? Why is it that that's happening? So I want to touch on something else before I go to the next article. Victoria, you have any input here based on just the information that we presented thus far?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's just some issues on both ends, only because these kids are college graduates. These adults are college graduates. So they have shown that they are able to give the focus to a task, because 4 years of education is no small feat, no matter, I don't care if it was online or in person.
Right.
So they have definitely shown the aptitude to be able to
Finish it.
see something through to the end.
Right.
So the fact that they are not lasting in the workforce for what you said, 6 months, I think that that's a clear sign that there are probably some deficiencies on both the part of the employer, how they see things, how they're treating this new generation of workers. There's a disconnect, but there also could be something on the other side with Gen Z, maybe not necessarily being accustomed to how things are done, because their school and college experience is a lot different than yours or mine, you know?
You better say it, because I was in
Yeah.
college. I was literally in college when they were born.
Yeah, and everything's different now. Like some of them have never even met any of their classmates in college or even met their professor in person.
Because a lot of them went to school online full time.
Exactly, exactly. So they're missing that in-person organic connection where Gen Z, older millennials, and baby boomers, we're used to that. We're accustomed to it. Even though we've adjusted to how society is now, there still is a clear contrast. Like I know when I'm talking to a Gen Zer, and
Mhm.
then it becomes painfully obvious that I'm a millennial. Like today, I was fumbling on this thing like you would not believe. Venmo drove me crazy today. So much so, I ended up having to just drive to an ATM. I said, forget it. I'm going to just bring you some money. Forget it, girl.
I mean, we were the generation, well, Gen X, before even you guys. We got introduced to it when the personal computer became a thing. We were around before these things were popular. So
Right. Girl, some people don't even know PC and personal computer are the same thing. Like they don't even know. They don't even know
all
what
right,
PC means.
we're not gonna go there tonight. Please,
I
please,
know. I said
please,
that would be nice. Okay,
please,
look,
please,
girl.
please, because I'm trying to point to you, but I can't figure out this anyway.
Girl, we be trying.
No,
Wait, we
but
try to high five.
wait. Listen,
I know, right? You'd be like, wait, okay, wait. I think go away from with the window where your window is. Girl, I probably got it all wrong. Forget it. Y'all, we be trying. We be trying. There you go. Okay, we got it. Okay, just try to remember that. I'll
counterintuitive
remember.
because it's totally the opposite direction. Okay,
Girl.
listen.
They
Anyway,
just watching us struggle like what is these women? Okay. Anyway.
okay. But on a serious note,
Yeah.
yeah, we were introduced to a lot of the technology that they now have been born and bred and grew up in. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff we may miss because, of course, I say, okay, what's the instructions again? If you give me the instructions, I'm okay.
Right.
Now, some people don't read instructions, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Mhm.
We go, yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Mhm. Mhm.
we
I
gonna go,
understand.
we gonna touch on some other things in a minute. Now, we go. Let's go to the next pieces of information because I want to make sure that you guys have a well-rounded view of what's really the issue here.
Mhm.
Like this is not nothing to play with, and I hate to be the. Let me see here. Let me go further down. No. Hold on a second. Let me make sure we have the right article up here. All right. So we got some statistics with this one. Hold on.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. And share. Now, Newsweek is giving us a different picture. 3 charts showing why companies don't want to hire Gen Z. This was all in September. You know what? Let's hear. It's only a 1 minute video. Let's hear what they got going on. All right. Well, I don't have to listen to the music. We can pretty much read from the screen here. Reports compared to all 50 states across 10. Oh, well, it's going pretty fast. Alrighty. North Dakota, Alaska, Nebraska, Wyoming, South Dakota, Maryland, Texas. Wow. Rough Rider states. Virginia, West Virginia. Hmm. Okay. So this is more talking about hardworking states. Now let's get back to this. Let's get back to this because I thought it was on our subject, but I guess not. My bad. Now, with the oldest members of Gen Z now being 27 years old. Oh, well, that's how old Gen Z goes up to? Hmm. Let's see here. Are you here, Victoria? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just want to make sure. It's having a little technical difficulty there.
Oh no, and
All
I
right.
was muted too, so I didn't mean to confuse you there.
Not a problem. Okay. With the oldest members of Gen Z being 27 years old, the generation makes up a significant portion of the workforce, but has rapidly gained a reputation. As one or more of the challenging cohorts in the workplace. So, what's the hang up on Gen Z? Why are the issues that company why what are the issues that companies are having, and are these fair? Newsweek looked up at the data and spoke to experts to find out more. Why has Gen Zers been unsuccessful at work? Reasons recent college graduate hires haven't been successful. The top one being lack of motivation or initiative. Uh-oh. Lack of professionalism. Oh, we're gonna
Mm,
stop. We're gonna park right. We're gonna park there in a second. Lack of professionalism. Poor organization skills. Boy.
dang, they coming for him.
Poor communication skills. Yeah. Challenges with feedback. Lack of relevant work experience. I mean, that's attributed to age. Poor, and that shouldn't be used against them, but in some cases it is. Um, Poor problem solving skills. We're gonna stop there in a 2nd. All right. Insufficient technical skills. I find that hard to believe since I grew up with technology, but okay. Bad culture fit. It all depends on the culture. And difficulty working in a team. Okay. Companies hiring a recent Gen Z. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Gen X because I'm a Gen Xer, my bad. Companies hiring recent Gen Z college graduates report dissatisfaction with their performance, professionalism, and preparedness. A recent, a recent, let's see here, a recent conducted the same intelligence report 909. I'm glad they brought the number back up. 966 business leaders um, involved in their hiring decisions found that 75% of companies reported that at least some of their employees from this generation were unsatisfactory. 1 in 6 hiring managers admitted to hesitancy when it came to hiring Gen Z candidates in the future. Oh, wow. However, experts think it's less about the generation struggling and more about the change in values and expectations for people who came off professional age during the vid pandemic. Gen Z especially has become used to working in a very flexible manner, because they experience so much of their education either totally remote or hybrid. Yeah. A professor of strategic communication at Ithaca College told Newsweek. Megan Gearhart of the Gearhart Group of Gentelligence echoed this. The oldest of Gen Z had just started their professional careers when the pandemic hit. So many of their initial work experiences involved workplaces being focused on mental health and well being of their employees, she told Newsweek. The pandemic blurred the lines between home and work and hybrid and remote work arrangements, setting a precedence that work can be done anywhere, Gearhart added, explaining that since this happened in your formative time, for Gen Zs, it's not surprising that now they expect flexibility. It says here, and the last is Gen Z adjustment shift unique. Adults are always a little wary of the next generation coming in, and they all have some concerns and frustrations with their younger generation. Ruth Edwards, associate director and head of Tiger Recruitment in New York, agreed that there is a stronger emphasis on flexibility and told Newsweek that Gen Z values the ability to manage their work in hours and location. So many organizations are adopting more flexible work arrangements and remote options. Gearhart said that Gen Zers often have negative interview experiences. They're experiencing AI automated first round interviews, which seem to strike a sour note with just about every Gen Zer I've spoken with. She noted that researchers suggest that Gen Z is prioritizing authenticity and connection, so being interviewed by a computer sends a very opposite message about how important the human element is to the hiring of organization. And of course, we have some more stats. Hiring managers believe what they believe about graduates. And I'm going to even touch on this as a human resources professional and say beliefs can lead to prejudices. So hiring managers, be very careful what that's a slippery slope to go down. Um, Hiring managers believe these graduates are one, entitled, not saying that's not true for some, but not for all. Offended easily, thin skin, lack work ethic, hmm, don't respond well to feedback, oh boy, unprepared for the workforce, poor communication skills, lacks motivation, costs more to train, and lack technological skills. Oh wow. One major misconception is that Gen Z is less loyal and more prone to job hopping, a spokesperson for Tiger Recruitment said. This can be addressed by offering a career development plan and regular feedback. Organizations should align with Gen Z's values on diversity and social responsibility, offer flexible work arrangements, and strong mental health support, embracing technological advancements, and provide regular feedback, along with clear career development opportunities, they added. Gillespie echoed this, saying that Gen Zers are more likely to be interested in diversity and inclusion policies, sustainability, and whether a company is seen as a good employer. Today, we see students in our classroom who probably never would have made it to college because of either neurodiversity or because chronic illness or other kinds of disabilities. Gillespie said. The workplace is still not used to that. It's unfortunate but true. Gearhart said that what it takes is to teach and mentor Gen Zs is also going to look somewhat different. This generation has grown up with unlimited access to information and explanation. As such, it's important to take the time to provide context and explanation for why things are done a certain way or why a decision was made, she said. In fact, generations like coming right out of school actually does not want a fully remote workforce. If anything, they're the ones who most need and want in-person interaction, especially for the mentoring or for the visibility, Gillespie said. While we assume Gen Zs would be consistent, would be content to rely on tech, we overlook that generation and life/career stage are always entangled, Gearhart said. Nothing that nothing noting while that Gen Z while Gen Zers want flexibility, many prefer regular office experiences. This is interesting. During the early years of one's career, activities like networking, learning, and making a great impression are so important no matter what generation you are in. Those things are nearly impossible to do well when you are fully remote. And it does have, oh wow, are Gen Z's underperforming in college? We see recent college graduates hiring this year have been successful at companies. Oh wow, these are not good stats. Let me come back on here for a second because a lot of what I'm seeing here ooh, is not that great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to touch on a couple of things. The level of professionalism. Um, when we were coming up, Gen Xers were coming up,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of, the word I want to use is, there's a lot of examples for us to see as far as how people behaved at work.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't sure. There were, I don't know if they have them as much anymore. Um, Take your child to work day type of activities.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot more TV shows showing, giving you some idea of what a professional space in the office in a corporate setting looked like.
Mm-hmm.
What there were some expectations. A lot of number one, this generation didn't grow up with a television per se in their living room that all everybody is watching at the same time. They're whatever they're watching, they're consuming on these things.
Yep.
Two, if you don't have a parent or you have someone in your life that is either going to point you in the right direction to find certain things and kind of get an idea of what is professionalism. Because if you don't go to the career services at your college as a college student, where else are you going to get the information from? Yes, you can get it from YouTube because we're on YouTube right now. Hello, NC worker, how you doing? But where are we? Hello, AM1. Hello, hello. Like the stream as you come in, say hello, guys.
Hey, Aim.
We're interactive group here.
I know they've been so quiet. I think they're kind of
Yeah.
like, wait, because the way I presented it to my audience, they might be a little confused right now. But
No,
y'all,
no,
we're
no.
both here. We're simulcasting on
Yes,
each of our channels.
yeah.
So
So
talk, chat, y'all.
yeah, yeah. Say hello. Come on, contribute to the conversation for sure. Because you guys, you may have children in your house that fits this gen. That is a Gen Zer that absolutely can benefit from the information that we're going over and some of the tips and some of the ways that we can help. You guys get through some of this. The impression that they have that Gen Zers are not productive in the work environment. I think a
Yeah.
lot of it is communication.
Mm-hmm.
There's a communication gap and there's a misunderstanding, right?
Big time.
Of how is it that they conduct themselves? Did they have an example? Mind you, it's a lot easier for them to access information because there was no YouTube when I was coming up. But if
Mm-mm.
you want to know what it looks like, I'm going to almost guarantee I've talked about it on my channel, and I'm sure there are other people that actually have skits, cartoon versions, and real versions of how you are expected, what is considered professional. There are trainings out there that you can find here on YouTube, you can find here in other digital formats and other digital platforms. What to communicate what is professional, what's considered professional.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that they said that the last article described was what do they consider it said they lack organizational skills. I would hope they have some form of organizational skills. They have a college degree. You have to have some form of organization to finish college. unless somebody else did all the work for you.
This is true. And then what in what context do they mean organized? You know, because it in
It's,
my life, and honestly, it's the same in my personal life too.
mhm.
I am organized chaos. I could tell you almost everything that's on my desk right now, but if you walked in, you'd be like, this is so annoying. Move that, move that, move that paper. Why is that right there? What right? You would be so confused if you walked in, but if you asked me, "Hey Victoria, where is that like one red sock or whatever, like the left red sock and blah 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 blah." I'd be like, "Oh, it's over there." Like I know exactly where to tell you to find it, you know?
Okay.
So to one person that could be unorganized and then to another it's like, "Oh, I get it." Like it's just a
Mhm.
mishmash of everything, baby. I see it. It's right there, you know?
So
So I think that Gen
everybody's
Z
organization, yeah,
struggles. Yeah.
everybody's organization is different. But listen, it got them through school. There's something good there. They accomplished something. But I want to definitely
True.
get, get the, the people that are here with us tonight, get their, input as well. Good
Absolutely.
evening, every NC worker. Hello, hello, AM1. Welcome to the live. Welcome.
Who is Gen X, by the way? I think he may be older than you.
Oh, what? We got a fellow Gen Xer in the
Yeah,
house.
girl, he's
Yes.
mid. He's actually now late
Don't be
40s.
telling people. Shh.
No, no, no. AM1 says it proudly. No, no, no. This
Oh,
man is
okay.
proud of his age. Like
Okay.
AM1, he because
All
girl,
right.
he let
But
AM1 tell you, don't tell your girl, but AM1
listen,
look good for his age, girl.
listen, but because some people are private about their age, shut
He tells
up.
you, he'll tell you straight up,
Okay.
girl.
All right. Just want
Y'all
to make
mentor
sure.
Shelly 32. What you talking about? Shelly 32.
Woo! Oh, you're so cute. A millennial. Me? Never. No.
Old millennial. No, I was gonna say, wait, oh no, if you're 32, are you younger millennial? Like young.
Exactly. Of course. Victoria said, good evening. Hi, NC worker. Of course. Hello, it's me, Miss Doe. Hello, Miss Doe. We're just in shock. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is wow. Yeah. I understand. And of course, all right, Mr. Trey Wilson, how you doing?
Hey
Those
Trey.
those heavy behind TVs that that weighed 1,000,000 pounds and took years to die. Yes, those same ones. Oh,
Girl,
he's
the
a Gen
first flat
Xer.
screens were like
Listen,
2 tons.
well, hold on, wait. That had the dial as big as my hand. Do
Oh
do
my
do
god.
do 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 do. Yeah,
With the antenna.
we were the kids that were the human remote controls back in the day. Okay, trust me.
Yeah.
I
Tube TV. That's what it was, a tube TV.
exactly. Listen, that had its own built on console with the TV.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
goodness, they use that for everything. Trust me.
Right,
I
right.
believe it. Lenny said, "Hello, hello, Lenise. Good evening. No children. I see working. No children here. Okay, so I'm sure you got nieces and nephews in this generation.
I was gonna say high five to you, man. Child
Yes.
free and loving it, okay?
Okay. Is me or Miss Doe says I think Gen Z doesn't want a code switch. Ah,
True. They want to be
that's true.
themselves 100% of the time.
I, Gen Z. One of the things that the career coach Auntie gonna tell you. Sometimes you have to.
Can
Sometimes you.
you tell us what it means when you get
Oh,
to it?
we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it in a second. Yeah, yeah, Trey. Yeah, yeah. Them TVs was big. Um, code switching. What is that?
Mhm.
Mm. In your playing the game, making sure this is where you especially when you're in a professional environment, you have a certain posture, you communicate in a certain way to make sure that what you're saying from a professional space is conveyed accordingly. When, especially when you're speaking to leadership or you're speaking to management or people that run the organization, or you're speaking with clients, you can't speak to clients the way you speak to your little friends on the phone. I know a little bit of Gen X just jumped out of me, and some of my mama too. This ain't your little friends that you're talking to on the phone. You keying and making jokes with. There has to be a level of decorum that you conduct yourself with when you are in a professional environment. Part of the issue they have is the next thing is the communication. That's big. That's a big disconnect with Gen Z because unfortunately, Gen Z is used to a lot of them, to be honest with you, are used to having conversations like this, no talking.
Never. And they are so bad at eye contact.
Yeah, because they're the whole time
Man.
they're used to texting. And when you're in certain professional environments, that's not appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like my earbuds, let's be clear. But there's a time and place for that. You cannot be, okay, for example, you cannot work at a hospital as the admission assistant
Mm-hmm.
and think you can be on your earbuds when people are coming to you consistently as part of your job for you to assist them with paperwork as they're being admitted to have surgery.
Right.
You have to understand the tenets of the job that you're doing and be functional and excel at it. And having that behavior, social media is not real life, and a lot of them unfortunately don't know how to separate the two. That's
But Shelly, I share my life there.
hunting.
That's me.
Yes, but if you keep that up, you will not have a job to be able to keep up with social media because you won't have the internet to keep up with it or be able to pay for that phone that you're constantly on. Let's be clear. I deal in the real. I don't like when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Just like how I had to get baptized by fire.
Yeah.
I had to get baptized by fire to learn. Part of why I advocate to help Gen Zs. I specifically wrote a book on the subject, From Clueless Teenager Concept and Professional. 7 steps to helping you get the career and economic life you want. Because nobody bridged the gap for me. I had to learn that by failing, falling
Right.
on my face, getting underpaid at several jobs before I learned what even to negotiate for more pay was.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I put that roadmap together. You can find it at mentorshelley.com/book. Let me see. Let me just put that on here. Since I mentioned it, might as well. So if you have nieces or nephews that have that particular, if you know you have any, not preteens, because a lot of them are in their early 20s now, going through some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let me at least go back. Let me see here. Yet I don't want to code switch, but you have to. In certain
Mm-hmm.
situations, you have to. And yes, there are alternative careers that are available with you being your authentic self, like being
Mm-hmm.
a YouTuber. I talked about earlier this week. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I'm listen to me. I'm here to say pursue your dreams, but have a plan. So you can have some lights to be able to run a YouTube channel because you need lights and you need a charged up phone and you need the internet.
Red is like it's blinding me right now, y'all. I'm over
Okay.
here burning. This
Okay.
thing burning through my retinas. I
So,
swear.
as much as I'm saying, yes, you can be a YouTuber, it's going to take hard work. Anything that is worth achieving is going to take hard work. And yeah, Trey Wilson, they have to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H theme song comes to mind. It's time to play the game. Yep. I
Even the
mean,
Gen Z, they'll be like, "Who's Triple H? What's that?"
okay, it's me or Ms. Doe, and grew up with the earbuds. Yeah, you can't go through life with that.
No.
And the abbreviations are not full sentences. Preach.
Can I speak on that for a second?
Please do.
Shelly, and this is where I say that there is a gap in the
Communication gap.
generation. Like we're seeing the generational divide start. And it's kind of weird because millennials are a little young minded. I don't think that we are quite as mature as our parents were when they were our age or maybe this is how they felt. I don't know, but I don't feel my age. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's like Gen Z, having a conversation with them, they do mumble, they do not complete their sentences. You will ask them, like, what color is the sky? Girl, they will literally tell you, like, who their favorite rapper is, or like some just something that has nothing to do with anything. And you'd be like, that's not even what I asked you. Like, can you come back and focus, you know? And I don't know if a lot of them are maybe just aloof, if they're on substances, if it's the nutrition, I don't know. I don't know if like
No,
I don't know if AM1 is still here. AM1, is it the nutrition? Is that what's affecting them cognitively?
no,
But
say
it
it.
seems, yeah, but it seems like their whole life, they're living life via abbreviations. Like everything is LOL, blah, blah, blah. Like they never say, they can never complete a sentence. That bothers me so much about them. I told you the other day, I gave a kid in the mentorship program I'm in, this is, yes, a digital face, whatever, but I have another one that has an analog style. I literally turned it on and showed it to the young man. I say, yo, tell me what time it is. That poor young kid was so confused. And I was like, dude, it's like 2:30. What if I told you you had to get out of here at 3:30 and I showed you this and you couldn't leave until you could tell me if it was really 3:30? People can get over on them. And it's like they don't even realize how dangerous it is to live life on abbreviation mode. They have no idea.
Please don't tell me the school children don't know how to tell time on an analog watch.
Richmond's, let me stop because I might work with them one day. But the education system is lacking, girl. It's lacking. Just
Not
when you
teaching
said
them
code
this in
switch,
school? You can't be
no,
serious.
no,
Oh,
no. And it's been, it's been eliminated because everything's digital. So unless you can see the actual numbers written out, Gen Z does not care. Okay. They don't know how to read signs and symbols the same way that you and I would. So I think in one way it gives us an advantage because we can actually see things that they can't. If that makes sense, like we're kind of living in totally different frequencies right now. Because if I wrote something in cursive, girl, I could send that to you, pass it to Gen Z. They don't know what the hell it says. Girl, we could be
can't.
passing notes, all kind of.
I can't.
Anyway,
I
y'all,
can't.
y'all see what I'm
I
getting at,
can't.
though. It's like,
Let me get back to these comments because I really I can't. I can't.
do you think with the code switching thing, though, maybe they just don't understand the value of it? So, like, have we not conveyed the value of code switching
I think
to
if
them?
somebody doesn't sit down with them or they don't really go researching what that really means,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to understand the nuance and how it's beneficial in certain situations and
Right.
how it's unfortunate, especially for how it's important to um, climb the corporate ladder in a sense.
Mhm. Because some of
It's
them feel like they're sacrificing or, what's that word? They feel like they're compromising who they truly are because nobody explained to them who you are at work is not who you are at home. You're entitled as a human to have different versions of yourself, and it's called decorum. I think you said something about that at the beginning. It's decorum, and nobody's teaching them this. So they're getting offended. So I think part of it could be it's because they never learned these things in the first place. So it almost feels like they're being put upon whenever we're
if
correcting them.
if mama and daddy didn't teach them, they're not
Yeah.
teaching them. I'm like I'm trying to remember when I was in high school. Lord have
Mm.
mercy. I'm really about to tell my age now. We had business administration classes that showed you how to conduct yourself
Mhm.
and how to write checks
Same.
and how to manage a budget
Mhm.
and how to do and what a budget was.
Right.
And this is what mommy and daddy would do, or if you were mommy and daddy, these are the things that you would. We had stuff like that when I was in high school. I don't
Mhm.
know if they're teaching that now. I guess there's some, like, Dave Ramsey and a few others. I
Mhm.
know that they're starting to implement some of those financial education pieces in some civics lessons back in school because I know they took it out for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
But let me go to Trey Wilson's comment. Trey said, I try to encourage them to get into IT or technical sales. Soft skills and customer service are a must. And I think that is hugely missing with some of them because a lot of the communication issues they're having at work is because the soft skills are not developed or non existent for some. Lenice W says, my Gen Z nephew says time is a social construct. When asked what his future plans are, my nephew doesn't know how to write or read in cursive. If he wasn't taught, because I learned that in kindergarten or even before that when I was learning to write my letters. I learned to write my letters in script and I learned to write my letters in cursive. I don't know if they teach that
Okay.
anymore.
And that could be a cultural thing or geographical thing too, because can
True.
you explain to us where you were country wise when you learned cursive? No,
I
this is important because I'm going to
Yes,
tell
it
you when
is.
I learned it and we can compare.
Yeah, I'm originally from Jamaica, so
Mm-hmm.
I learned this in kindergarten, even before first grade. And in first grade, it was perfected. I went
Wow.
to a private school, of course, but that was something. And there, you don't get that stuff right. Let's just say corporal punishment was part of the teaching methods as well. But at the end of the day, you learn how to write and you're learning how to read before you leave first grade.
Girl. So I learned to read in preschool going into kindergarten, and
Mm.
I learned cursive third grade. You know where they had the overhead projector?
Really?
Listen up, Gen Z, you youngins. But they used to have the apparatus, and it had the light coming up, and they had the film that they used to put on it and write and dry erase
Yep.
marker. I
Yep.
would never forget the teacher. Her name was Mrs. Jan Brown. Y'all, Mrs. Jan Brown looked like she had to be about 93 on a good day. And I was in third grade. I was only 8 years old and knew this woman was
On a
ancient.
good day.
My
Ooh.
guess was she was born in the 1800s. By the time I was a kid,
Don't do it. So
kindergarten. Uh,
listen, don't let
yeah,
that lady come from the dead and smack you across your head
yeah,
now.
it sounds like Credit Solutions is joking, but I'm not. Listen, so I think Mrs. Jan Brown, honestly, but now that I know how aging works, she was, and maybe she was 48. I don't know, right? But she looked,
Behave.
she had a look, right? But
Yes.
no, and the thing I remembered about her, and
Mm-hmm.
this is why, and what I'm saying is really important, that I
Mm-hmm.
think Gen Z is missing those different layers. And you have one teacher one year that's strict, and then one teacher one year that's so cool, and one that loves you, and one that is creative, and they spark these things in you. So you get to have such a well-rounded
Well-rounded
educational
education.
experience.
Yep.
So the thing I loved about Mrs. Jan Brown was that cursive was a serious thing. And Mrs. Jan Brown didn't play about that.
Mm-hmm.
She made sure that we perfected it. So I thought it was
Yep.
interesting that you said you started to learn and then perfected it later. Where in that class, and I think because it was third grade, which would have been pretty far after when you learned it,
Mm-hmm.
she wanted us and forced us to to perfect it in that one year that we had with her.
Yep.
No other class after hers ever pushed cursive. They said we could write in cursive, so we did,
Mm-hmm.
because Mrs. Jan Brown made sure that we knew it. But y'all, Mrs. Jan Brown cannot. I know she ain't with us no more.
Oh.
I know she not, because I would have been 8 years old in third grade. I ain't gonna say how long ago that was, but Mrs. Jan Brown, look, even if she was 40, 48 back then, looking 92.
Oh boy.
Girl, she could have been 26. I don't know.
If Trey Wilson said, "If you want my link, let me know. A sale is coming."
Oh
Trey
yeah,
Wilson,
no, because I told him
bam.
I want to dabble in tech sales. I want to try
Yeah,
tech sales. I think that'd be so cool.
that would be great.
Yeah.
Trey Wilson said, "You know you're going to Hades with gas."
No, because that was the one thing I remember. Like when I said the overhead projector thing, that was the first time we had ever worked on one. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh my God, we're so grown up. This is so cool, at 8 years old, right? But she was so serious, and like she taught us like, no, this is the uppercase G. Write it, 20, 30, 50 times, blah, 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 blah. Like she made sure, she was like, look, I'm not here to play with y'all. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
kiddos. She was probably on her way to retirement. Actually, now that I think of the age that she was like, look, y'all not gonna play with me. Get this done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was cool.
You done told us the lady is old as dirt. Lord Jesus.
Well, because I know she ain't alive no more. So you know what I'm saying? She watching me from another
Listen,
dimension.
her children are coming after you. But you
Y'all, I
know,
had to go in, but she that, but I love that. And I think Gen Z has probably never even had a strict teacher that
mhm,
literally came to school to do their job. Like they're not used to that. You know what Gen Z is used to? And I'm sure the chat can agree with this. Gen
mhm,
Z is used to, remember that guy on TikTok? He's teaching like at a French school. It's a black guy, young black guy, probably my
mhm,
age, like millennial age, right?
mhm.
Got fired for having the girls braid his hair, his students braid his hair in class. Did you ever see
I
that?
even saw that clip.
I used to watch that guy on TikTok and I used to think to myself, you know what? He reminds me of one of those guys in school that wasn't really a cool guy. He was probably a nerd. And now he's going back to high school to be the cool guy because he lets the kids talk any kind of way and do whatever. So
But
much
you're the
so
king.
that's what I'm saying. So Gen Z is used to that. Like they're used to their parents trying to be cool and they're used to their teachers even trying to be their friend. So they're used to people trying to coddle them and try to get in good with them as young people.
And that's part of the problem.
Totally. It's like, no, y'all, you get older for a reason and it's okay to embrace that. Like if you are supposed to be mature now and teach the younger generation the stuff that you learned, do that. It's okay to accept that role,
Well,
but we want to be forever young and be our kid's best friend, and it's not going to work.
we,
We see the outcome of it now. That's why we're having this
you don't want
conversation.
you don't want the auntie Shelly to come out, okay?
And you
Because
and I can
I'm
see it
gonna
more
sound like
clearly
I'm gonna sound
because,
like somebody mama in a second, but
girl, anyway, rest in peace, Mrs. Jan Brown. Rest in peace, girl.
yes. Brittany, hello, Brittany Barrett. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the
Hey
live.
there.
That's a good point, but some don't get to experience teachers of that caliber anymore. Unfortunate but
Exactly.
true.
Exactly.
Unfortunate but true. So yeah, friend, yeah, friend, like a light version of full metal jacket. I can't with you, Trey.
And the thing
You,
is, we're not going in, y'all. We just speaking facts right now. We're not
yeah, we're
going in
just
on
speaking
anybody.
facts, but we've now come to the conclusion that at least level of professionalism, organization skills, communication skills, which is huge, and problem solving skills are some of the major things that employers are having an issue with. Because unfortunately, based on even just some of the articles, there's other articles that we have that we may or may not touch on today, but that's why Gen Z has the reputation they have. And unfortunately, employers are using that as leverage to not hire them, not hire them. And Victoria put a question in a couple of questions in the chat, and I want to add to that as well. Did you guys have strict teachers growing up? Absolutely. Miss Hall was mine in third grade. And Miss Hall, actually, we had to, and this is where cultural differences come into play here.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in Jamaica, and we were told that we needed to study up to our six times table by heart, like
Mm.
by memory. And if we didn't have that known and ready on Monday morning, we everybody had to line up on the outside of class.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
if you don't have it and you can't recite it from memory,
Mm-hmm.
not only are you not going to get admitted to the class, you was going to get your butt whooped too.
Dang.
She gave us 3 weeks to learn We were probably up to like 4 times table that we knew from memory,
Mm-hmm.
but we had to get up to 6. And I remember that third grade teacher. She did not play the radio, and we used to get corporal punishment in our hand. So
Mm.
yeah, so that Monday morning, I remember the weekend before that, my god sister had spent the weekend at my in my home.
Mm.
She helped me. She drilled me as a kid. I
Yeah.
was maybe 6 or 7 years old. Yes, 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was shaking in my boots, but she helped me, and I studied, and I made sure like it was in my head. And I was so nervous. I said it so fast, but I got it. And I
Mm-hmm.
got to go in this class and sit down. Not everybody got to get in the class, and a lot of people got home that Monday
Girl, I'm not
morning.
even surprised.
Listen, to this day, 6 times table is still in my head, and that is
See,
at least 30 years ago.
as it should be. I love it. I love it.
Okay, I mean cultural differences barring, but learning was not something that they compromised on. And those teachers made an impression to this day based on that whole situation. I still remember that. That wasn't something I'd ever forget. Is Gen Z missing that vital part of their maturing process? Absolutely. There's a lot of things that made Gen X who they are. Sometimes it was circumstance, and sometimes it was a structure that was in place at the time. So it could be one or the other, and it could be a little bit of both. And there are some things that we learned in school that they're not learning now. And the difference is damning. You see it just by how they're showing up in the workplace and thinking flexibility is automatic, not realizing that 20 years ago, flexible work schedule was non-existent. What you talking about flexible work schedule? What you talking about working from home? What? They barely know how to use a computer.
I
Let me.
remember when I got my first 40-hour a week job, I was so elated. I was like, yo, I'm about to be making money. Oh my God. And this is coming from somebody whose first job when I was 17, I was making $7 an hour and you couldn't tell me nothing. And I got paid every week. Girl,
You could tell.
oh, it was nothing like, and I will tell y'all, no, and this is what Gen Z is missing. And I'm going to tell you what it is, like part of it. There's so many layers to what's going on with these young people. So I would get out of school. First of all, getting the job was awesome. The idea of applying to a job
Mm-hmm.
and going to an interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dressing for an interview, getting to the interview, sitting there while this person's talking to you as a teenager, and you're just like, oh my God, okay, I have to make this work, right? And then signing all the paperwork. These are things that young people should experience. I mean, I didn't take my mom. My mom probably dropped me off for the interview and that was it. But when I, filled out my work paperwork, like, to get my money and stuff, walking into the bank at 17, cashing my first paycheck, I will never forget that. And it gave me so much incentive to just keep going to work, like keep doing it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I remember just working part-time thinking, man, I cannot wait to make 40 hours. I cannot wait to see what that paycheck looks like. Making your own money is so awesome. And it's because of the whole process of the getting the outfit for the interview, applying. Like there's such a process to it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very process driven. That's what it motivates me about things. I enjoy the whole process going through it. Gen
And
Z's missing that.
I, there's some pockets of places where they are getting that, but it's few and far between. It's
Yeah.
what we're seeing right now. Um, Trey says, yes, I did. They would call your parents if you started acting up. Yep.
Mm.
Moms would show up unannounced, give you a look. Oh, you
Or
better
give you a smack, pull
give you
you
a
out the
look.
class.
Let me find out you acting up. It was on like popcorn. Listen here. Let me tell y'all. Do not let a Gen X mama come up to the school because they call saying that you acting up. I'm gonna tell you from my generation, from my personal experience,
I love it.
you don't want that kind of smoke because you getting your behind toe out the frame when you get home. You're lucky it don't start in school.
I love
You
it.
don't
Oh
want
my
that kind. You
God.
don't want that kind of action. You're gonna get embarrassed. Okay.
Girl.
So if they calling your mama, hmm, an island mother at that too, don't even. That has a whole other layer to it. Okay.
Girl. A mess. Okay.
So if they have to call once, don't let them call twice. It's gonna be worse. You don't have any behavior. Oh, did I teach you all to behave like that? Okay. You got a little bit of the island accent because that's what you're gonna get right before you get behind your eyes to walk frame. Do not.
I love
Okay, and
it.
I'm sure millennials can identify with that.
Girl, we got the tail end of whatever y'all got. Trust me. They still, girl, we still caught the fumes. Okay. Girl, they was still trying to keep it alive with us. That's why so many of us have college degrees, don't not want to work. This whole I don't want to work thing is very brand new, okay? Because from the time we were probably 15, 16, 17, we were taught you get a damn job. And when you get out of school after this job, take your butt to college. And if you're
Mhm.
gonna drop out and be a smart like I was, you better keep a job. You better work your
Exactly,
way up in that company. You better
because
do
you're a
something.
grown person and
Hmm.
ain't nobody gonna pave the way for you. You got to pave it for yourself.
Girl.
Okay.
But that's
All
why I
right.
feel for Gen Z because I feel like they're missing that.
Trey Wilson said, "Don't call dad either. He has to get off of work because you acting up. You already know. You already know."
Girl.
Brittany says, "I had teachers who taught discipline, yes, but also cared about the character you have." You better say that. And a lot of
Yes.
the now the kids ain't getting that. You might
No.
find a keyword. You might find a few or far between, but the kids ain't getting that. But at the end of the day, we see that there are deficits all over the place. But I also want to put a question out there, like literally. Let me see here.
And I have a poll going on my channel, you guys. So if you're in the chat,
Mhm.
definitely participate in the poll that I
Yeah,
just put up because I want to get some perspective on
yeah,
what you guys think.
yeah. My question is, why do you concretely think Gen Zers are subtly or boldly being rejected by employers? We just talked about all of that. I wanted to make sure that we had these. They're lacking the professionalism because either they're not taught or they don't take the time to learn. Two, organizational skills. They have some, but they have to have it to a certain degree where the same soft skills that I talk about for extra wives coming back into the workforce, they automatically have that because they have to run a household. Those organizational skills,
Mm-hmm.
communication skills is key. You cannot take the same attitude that you do with social media and being the keyboard bandit and think you can take that level of communication skills to the workplace. You're going to have to learn how to speak properly
She said
in the
keyboard
work.
bandit.
Yes, because a lot of these coming up, if you didn't learn or you didn't grow up in a family that taught you how to do that or put that in how they raised you,
Mm-hmm.
or you didn't learn that in some form of a business class,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how do you how do you know how to communicate in that situation? I am
Right.
hearing and I have seen a few videos where you have Gen Zers bringing their parents to job interviews. Say what now? That's not something that ever existed in my time, but
Okay. Can I ask you a question as an HR person? I'm gonna tell you how I interpret it, and I be thinking I'll be real spicy in my thinking.
even
And
if you're gonna be there, don't be in the lobby with the children. Be in the car. Lord,
because that tells me two things.
you're
Number
babying your
one,
kid.
yes, and that employee is gonna be a problem.
Uh,
And just she, you know what that parent is the equivalent of? You remember when we were in school and a parent would come up there and swear to God that it's the teacher that did something?
You mean coddling your children?
Girl, that started when I was about junior high, and you know how when you in junior high, you start going to school with more kids in the greater parts of your city, so people you didn't grow up with. When you get to about eighth or ninth grade in the U.S., that's when parents be swearing up and down it's the teacher, it's not the kid, and you be like, nah, you raised this little hellion. This is your hellion. So, in my opinion, see, girl, I say it because I say it so you don't have to. Okay, there's a credit channel where I'm at. You know, we good, but that's what I envision. It's like when I write that person up at work, I'm gonna have to hear from their mother. You know what I'm saying? Or if they're sick, their mom's gonna be calling. If you ever, and I'm speaking to any of my future employees, if you the only reason your mama need to be calling me is if you in jail or in a coma or got stuck in Mexico when you was out there drinking and having tacos. That's the only excuse I'm gonna give you. You better not. Why you? I don't pay your mama. Why is she at this interview?
Preach.
Why? You are an independent, not even, you're not sovereign yet, okay, because maybe you live at home, but you are an independent individual. And the only way you are going to start to get that drive to become an independent person is to cut the umbilical cord. And
Thank you.
if your parent will not do it, it is now your responsibility as that adult to say, Mom, okay, look, you can drive me to this interview, but stay your ass in the car and don't say your
Please.
mother. But
You
you
are
feel
you are not doing. I'm gonna say this to the parents, and I'm also gonna say this to Gen Zers. Parents, you are not doing your children any favors by going to the interview with them. As a matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, they're probably not going to get hired if you go there with an interview with them. They are no
oh,
longer children. If they're 18 years or older, by definition, they're adults.
I'd be so
Do not
annoyed.
go to job interviews with your. Yes, they may be your baby, but your baby is 18 and older.
Your baby is my employee. Girl, get out of here. Go.
Why? You are you gonna be there to help them earn the money too?
Okay.
Stop this
But
nonsense.
as a parent, if there were any parents in the chat on either of our channels, are you that parent? And if you are, no shade, tell us your thought process with that.
No,
What
if you're
in
that
what
parent,
world is that okay?
if you're that parent, I'm gonna tell you, you are stunting the growth of your child. You're stunting the growth of your young adult because they will never, unless you want them in your house forever and ever, and then there's something going on with you.
And
With
some parents do. I was going to say that. I'm glad you brought it up
okay,
because
so
and they won't admit it.
okay, yeah,
We love y'all. We love y'all though.
yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Ooh,
Please
y'all
don't,
annoying.
please don't come.
Y'all done annoyed us.
Please don't come to the no job interview with your children. Let them jokers learn on their own. They have resources. They have a walking encyclopedia in their hands. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, some of the mamas and the daddies, they be scared because they know once that kid gets a brain, they gonna move out. Some parents hold on to their kids for as an extension of their own identity. I've seen that, and they're afraid of their life without that kid.
There's a reason that you were separated and they get to exist on their own and breathe and have their own heart and own
Yep.
mind and their own path because
Facts.
they're a whole independent human. Let that process happen naturally, please and thank you.
Yes.
Now, let's get back into the comments. Trey Wilson said, "Nope, I got tired of getting beat. Yep, so I straightened up and got together."
Listen.
Listen.
And that's the thing about millennials and Gen X, girl. We got whooped.
And listen,
I don't condone
we
violence.
better off for it in some situations, but I digress. Some folks don't believe in corporal punishment. There are some children, and if that did not exist, we would have way more hellions running around. But
You know what? Are you just okay? You can say we'll move on, but like, are you a corporal punishment person? Like, would you spank your kids? If you had think of your little baby, she little mentor Shelly baby.
If they don't
Your
act like
little
they, if listen, there's a reason. I'm gonna start off with this, and my nieces and nephews will tell you there's a reason God gave you two ears and one mouth because you're supposed to listen twice as
facts.
much as you talk. And if I got to say that more than once time,
Mm,
ask them, they'll tell you they're in their 20s now.
hmm.
And guess what? They know Auntie Shelley don't play that mess. Now, I digress. Let's go back to the chat because you'll get me talking about that for a while. We're gonna be here.
Surprisingly, do you think I would spank my kids? I bet my answer might shock you.
You're probably not going to.
I'm not. I'm not. Oh God, you guys.
No,
Okay,
no.
I be talking spicy, but I couldn't. Oh my God, y'all.
Oh,
No, I just
oh,
my little
oh,
baby.
oh,
See how it rubs
Victoria.
off on us, y'all. So I could be one of these parents
Oh,
too.
Victoria. You see, I grew up in a Jamaican household. That's not gonna fly when you don't listen. Anyway.
Oh, I be trying to envision it, y'all, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't see slapping my kid's little legs. Like, oh my God, no. Oh God, not my baby.
Well, not the baby now. They got to learn to listen first. You got to instruct them, and you
If
got to
they still
teach
have
them.
baby fat, you can't touch them, guys. So even if they're like 6 years old and they still have baby fat, don't beat the legs.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you hold that. I'm gonna let you hold on to that
The
there.
little
Okay.
baby.
Okay. So, what is the basis of the subtle rejection? We just talked about some of it. Some of these parents are coddling their children. Some of
Facts.
them are missing the necessary skills to be successful in the job. Lenice W says my nephew would get job offers, but won't do his part and accept the position. His mother
Mm.
fills out the application.
No. So, oh, sorry, Shell. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That was a
His
knee jerk.
mother fills out the application. Oh. She planned on having a lifetime roommate.
But see,
What?
mom is okay with that. She likes it.
What though? But what's wrong with the nephew? Why he can't do his own application? You're supposed to teach. You're supposed to teach the man to fish, not go get the fish for him every time he need to eat. Some of this stuff is the parents is coddling and enabling a lot of this nonsense. Why? And if you're enabling nonsense, then there's something wrong with you. What? Filling out applications for? Come on,
Do you think that maybe we don't relate because we are not mothers yet? Like we haven't actually.
No, ma'am. What I will say to you is this: if I have, if I had children, and the nieces and nephews that I adopt as my children, I am not going to raise you to be a dependent adult. The whole point of you growing up is to grow up to be an independent adult.
Mm,
How in the world are you going to learn how to do something if I keep doing it for you? You're not a child.
mm.
Come on, man. I ain't got
See,
to
like
tell
I'm
you.
gonna be a strict parent minus spanking. I don't know if I can do it, but I feel like I will rule with an iron fist. But also, I don't know. I just like because the way I see it is like, okay, there will be a father, right? I figured the father will be more like, yo, what we doing up in here today? Sit down, right?
Well,
And I'd be like, yeah, do what your daddy said. What's for dinner? What am I making for dinner, y'all? What we doing?
let me keep going. Lenise. Trey says, because I can't.
Mm.
Trey says they, if they could, they would. Yeah. Yeah. Brittany says they are being raised by someone who doesn't understand the Smith and Iron concept.
Wait, now what's that? Because I've never heard of that
What do you
one.
mean? What Smith and Iron, darling?
Yeah, what is that?
Give
That
us a
sounds
little bit
cool.
more insight on that because I don't want to misunderstand. Brittany says instead of understanding they're being shaped and molded, they think it's torture. They there begins the beginnings of no foundation or structure. And then wonder why you can't get rid of his tail at 45 years old. Because you
Hmm.
didn't give him any structure or any kind of molding to go off on his own. You see how some of them see how the eagle said, okay, little chick, I'm gonna give you a
Yeah.
couple of I'm gonna give you a couple of these, but you're gonna have to learn to get some of your own.
That makes
If you
sense.
don't want to stay
I
in the
like
nest,
that.
you don't want to stay in the nest. Bloop.
That's some perspective. And what she's saying is a very balanced approach because there were times when you and I were growing up, I'm
Mhm,
positive, where we thought our parents were being so unreasonable. But
mhm.
looking back, because again, we didn't know we were being shaped and molded. But looking
They were
back, we're
teaching
like,
us how to be adults.
there you go. And something about what they did stuck. I
Mhm.
think Gen Z is missing that, where they take offense to everything and don't even,
Thin skinned. That's
yeah,
one of the things
yes,
that they talked about in the article, being thin skinned.
right.
Oh, you're hurting my feelings. You'll get over it.
And if you don't, there's therapy, baby. We'll be doing. That's why I say I ain't gonna beat my kids, but
Like,
it's gonna be
bloop,
some spice in that house. Okay.
bloop, bloop. Okay. All righty
Look.
now. I like that. All right. Trey says, great grandma said, no, honey, don't get the belt. Get the switch. Ooh.
Did you
Oh
ever get the switch, Shell?
no. Huh?
Did you ever get the
Yeah,
switch?
I've had to. Yeah.
Wow, what is that like?
Honey, it's not, listen.
You
You know exactly. It messes with your brain as a kid. Yes, you
you
have to
gotta
go,
go
which is
outside.
wait, and don't pick the smallest piece of tree off because if you pick the smallest piece, they're gonna be like, that ain't big enough. And they gonna get a bigger piece and well you in
I that is one
it.
thing I could never imagine, like having to go pick the weapon that they're gonna
Yeah.
kick my you know what with. Like
Well,
I
yes,
would
and
have
no.
died.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't think that. Yeah,
And how you
the
gonna beat me with
psychosis of it got us together though. I ain't go.
but okay. Where okay, because I know you probably know the history better than I. Where the hell did they get the idea? Oh, there's a beautiful tree outside. Why don't you go get a weapon off that tree?
Well, it's either that or they gonna get the either the switch or they use the belt. The regular there's a whipping belt, and the whipping belt is usually thick and it's leather.
I cannot imagine doing that to my kid. That's the only thing. I'm like,
Did
I
you?
mean,
Everybody views it differently, but
uh
mhm,
man, but I think that because my mom definitely came from the generation that
mhm,
had to do the switch thing, you know?
mhm.
But I never, I mean, she never said, "Hey, go get the weapon I'm going to mess you up with, kid. Go get it."
This is where Gen Z and Gen and millennials are different, darling.
Ouch.
Remember before our generation was a silent folk. They didn't ask no questions, they just whoop your tail.
Just bam, bam, bam.
Whatever they find. Now, let's get
And
back
it's
in.
not funny, y'all. We don't think this is funny. We're
No,
just
no, no,
laughing
no.
because it's fun. It is funny
No.
looking back because you're just like, that's so absurd. But then,
It
you know,
is. It
yeah,
is. But it got us together for sure.
for sure.
Um,
I mean, that's part of the difference that I see right now between
mhm.
the generations.
Lenny says he has no motivation. Of course not. He's not being made to do anything. Mommy's
Mhm.
doing it for him. God, listen, I really hope that he decides to really take on some responsibility and personal responsibility for himself.
Mhm.
Because if mom is not able to do it for him anymore, what is he going to do?
Right.
This is where the molding and shaping comes in. He said she wants him to earn his own money, but he has to go out and actively do the steps to do that. How is he going to learn to do the steps if he don't start doing it, filling out the applications himself? She can't go with him to the interviews no more. Wow, that mom doesn't want her son to grow up. Son husband. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a phenomenon that unfortunately is going on way more than we would like to admit.
Yep.
Iron fist. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. We went through some of that. Yes, NC worker was painful. But he's like, yeah, do it and get it over with. Okay. NC worker said, I was raised to say, you know what time it was. Listen, the Gen X parents did not, they didn't play with us.
Okay.
Trey Wilson
Look.
says, if they put it in the water, you might as well call it a wrap because it
Ooh. Wait,
Oh
the
yeah,
belt or the switch?
the switch or the belt, because you think so. Because once upon a time, you think, oh, you're gonna escape because you're running the shower to go take a shower.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Holy hell, man. That okay, that I am, I guess I am the no, don't get me wrong, y'all. I got my ASS beat. Like my mom used to do
Mm-hmm.
fist. So that's what I'm
No,
saying,
no,
y'all.
no,
I'm saying no
no.
switch, but
Mm-mm.
have y'all been hit with a fist before?
Switch,
That's not fun either, you
switching
know?
belts for the most part.
That's what I'm saying. So I
Uh,
think each generation has their own dysfunctional way
well,
of beating their
that and
kid.
well, that and I learned early. You're obedient, you get less of that. So I got real obedient real quick.
Girl, how about just don't get none of it? Like less. You know what I'm saying? These
Okay,
parents.
like
Girl.
no.
Woo.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Well, Trey was said as you got older, the paddle was used. Ouch.
Oh, really?
Yee.
See, y'all over here why I don't want to beat my kids. Do y'all understand we talked about 10 damn instruments.
Oh Lord, stop
And
it.
I'm just talking about y'all. Just scare them when they young, okay? Scare them when they babies. Just put the fear of God in them.
I was getting ready to say that you probably have to do that early, so you ain't got to do all this later on.
That's
Now,
it.
now, listen. Now that we understand why, and my next question to you guys is: how can Gen Z improve their overall professional reputation if they choose to change it? Because if they want to be better, they can. Um, they can go through professional development with, let's say, me, or they can take it upon themselves to practice. There's video tutorials for everything. Professional development stuff is out there. There's Udemy courses that teach you how to do that.
Yep.
There are things that I mentioned in my book that talks about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what Gen Z has to understand is the professional you and the personal you is something that in some cases, especially when you're just starting out in
Mm-hmm.
the workforce, you do have to separate. Until you're running your own corporation or you're running your own business, we can't live in fantasy land and think, oh, I can just be my full blown self at work because you don't work with your friends.
Right.
Your coworkers are not your friends. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
We had a video, y'all, so please watch it. We had a
Yeah,
live stream.
yeah, we had a live stream. Your
Yep.
coworkers are not your friends, so you can't be your ever dear loving. Oh, I'm going to share all this personal information with my coworker. No, you have to have professional posture. That's key because I think that's missing from a lot of Gen Zers. Yes, you go to work, you figure out what it is that you what your assigned duties are,
Mm-hmm.
master those.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get promotable tasks, find out what that is, have meetings with your supervisors, document everything that you discuss. Please document everything you discuss. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about that in a couple of live streams that I had where employee decided not to document a conversation and missed out on $40,000, but the egg was on the employer's face because they literally gaslighted the employee and ended up having to pay $500,000 when they should have just paid the employee 40. Anywho,
You see how things change if you just fix the situation in the beginning? Do some preventative maintenance, if you will.
yes,
Come
for
on,
your job,
people.
right? You want to have they have to understand there's a specific posture because
Girl.
I'm not going to go in somebody's office,
Mhm.
right? A professional office
Yeah.
where the dress code is is business casual and go up in there with booty shorts and a tear off t-shirt with
Girl.
sandals and think, oh, this is just me. This is just how I dress, and it's not going to be accepted. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
that's not your organization. Number two, that's not the accepted dress code for this particular organization.
Right.
You have to
Right.
not only you have to learn how to play the game, learn the rules, and adjust yourself for the confines for those 8 hours that you work there. You can wear whatever you want outside these doors. But if you work for an organization, you have to have the professional posture to do so. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that is missing from Gen Z because they think everybody's supposed to conform to what they want. That's not how this works. Capitalism works in such a way where you play the game, learn the rules. Then, once you understand the rules, you can start making your own when you start running your own stuff. No problem. But until then, sit down somewhere and learn something that don't come in with the entitled attitude because some of them are entitled. Walk in and think, oh, I'm the young generation and I think we should this and I think we should do that. And I think you should sit down and learn something and listen and observe
Yep.
and figure out what it is that this organization wants from you, provide it to them for a fee, which I definitely can coach you with how to to negotiate your salary. But
Uh-huh.
you have to understand there's a process. There is an expected code of conduct
Right.
in a professional environment, and it's best to learn it versus being burned by it, which is what a lot of Gen Zers are experiencing
Mm.
because they're not taking the time to learn. They're not taking the time to learn it, and it's burning them up. It's causing employers to say, "Well, they don't want to learn. They don't have the skills I need. I'm done." And they're getting let go. College college graduates getting let go after 6 months because of soft skills. Problem solving skills are soft skills. Communication skills are soft skills. Organization skills are soft skills. A level of professionalism, all of those are soft skills. That's what they mentioned in the articles. Soft skills which you can acquire if you do a little self work. You can, anybody can learn soft skills. It's not a personality trait, it's a skill. It can be learned. Just like how you learn how to maneuver TikTok when it came out 3, 4 years ago, you can learn some soft skills so you can make some money and not have to take mama to the job with you to apply in an interview.
But I
Oh,
mean, and this is the part where y'all go see credit solutionists be like, but then I'm also a hard ass too, right? So this is what I was thinking as you were talking. The part of me that feels sorry for them or sympathetic, I guess, is because if you're in an entire generation where everyone believes that, you know, what are soft skills? Who cares? Like, who's going to teach you the value of soft skills? Some of that's just not going to be divinely downloaded by them. They're just not going to wake up one day and get it. So, and they're surrounded by people in their own age group that don't believe in it either. So, whose responsibility is it to impart that on them?
um, if
Because
I'm
it's a
part,
concept that's so foreign to them. How do they discover it?
hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, first of all, I'm part of a generation that nobody gave us anything. You know how I found out all the stuff that I found out and what I learned?
Mm.
You know that thing that we have that we're on a computer? I became an adult when the internet, you had to endure this sound in order for you to get on the internet. Okay? I was here when it started. So we use every possible resource. We went to the library, reread articles that were still on paper
Mm-hmm.
before they all decided to write blogs and be on the internet.
Right.
We checked out books that had the information.
You see my plant. Sorry, y'all.
Pretty.
Keep going, girl.
We
I'm just
looked for the information because if you want something and you want to change something, you can look for the information if you want the change.
mm-hmm.
So if you want to put yourself in a better position, let's say, okay, let's take the regular professional stuff off the table. Yes, dial up, exactly. A lot of the Gen Zers are, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, or I want to be a content creator. You know, they watch 50 videos on how to do that, right? They can watch 50 videos on how to develop professional development. They want to learn how to get organization skills and improve their communication skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can look up those same videos on YouTube too. So miss me with the excuses. Because guess who is not going to give them an excuse in life? The employers are not going to put up with.
Right.
Mommy and daddy coddling you is only going to last for so long. So if you really want it, go get it. And I'm a coach that will definitely help you get it. But what we're not going to do is enable adults. You want the change? Go get it. I have no problem with teaching a willing student. What I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to do is force it down your throat. So yes, all of what I mentioned, why they're being, I wouldn't say discriminated against, because employers need these things done in a particular job description,
Mm-hmm.
and half of them is soft. More than half of the job description is soft skills. What do you think project management is? It's nothing but soft skills.
Mm-hmm. How do
Most
they
people
develop it?
practice learning what they are, just like how to develop anything else. You can develop skills. I didn't know how to use a
Okay.
computer before I learned how to use a computer, but I developed the skill. It's really that simple. You want to know? You can learn. Do you want to learn? There's a question. Nancy Worker says, skip, switch, paddle, belt, shoes, anything within their reach. You know it. Be like, boy, come here. And they
Y'all a
grab
mess.
it, throwing stuff
Yeah.
at you.
Don't be
Yes.
beating your children.
Trey Wilson says, Miss Victoria's gonna make it's gonna make you talk. Yep.
I'm that parent. I will be like, let's sit and talk about this because you acting like a fool right now. I need to know. You didn't come out of me. You didn't come out of me acting like a fool. Am I supposed to go get your father or what? Or are you gonna act right? What we doing? What we doing? I'm more the parent that's probably gonna threaten. But then by the time they're like 13, they're gonna be like, yeah, mom, you're not gonna do a damn thing. So
See,
yeah.
I'm the type of part-time parent. I guess that's what you call auntie sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
the type of part-time parent. If you're not gonna get a whooping or that punishment I promised you, oh, I deliver on it.
Oh
But
God.
oh yeah,
Okay.
my nieces and nephews will tell you one summer they all decided to show their ever loving tails. And Auntie usually spends time with them, or to take them out to the movies, or take them out to the park, or we do
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff together. You know what they got that year when they decided to show their tail? Everybody had to do a book report,
Oh.
and they had to read it in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And um, they got no outings that summer because they acted like a pure detail. They showed their tail. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Auntie don't play that. Yeah. You don't always have to put rod to but
Mm-hmm.
they also have to understand there's a certain level of decorum and there's a certain level of
Yep.
behavior that's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't reward bad behavior. We
True.
punish bad behavior.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah. So then any one of my nieces and nephews will tell you, Auntie Shelly don't play that. They respect me though, because they know I don't play that. I'm mad cool, but don't act like you ain't got no sense. Okay.
All
Let me come
right.
back.
I'll reconsider what I said, y'all. But I don't know. I just can't see myself smacking my babies, man. I just can't.
Oh, you're cute. All right.
What? You know,
like a flower child. It's okay. Brittany says
girl.
assimilation is what
But
we're
then be like, whoosh, other times, girl, I'm a mess. You right.
exactly.
You right.
Assimilation is what is required. You have to play the game regardless if you want to or not. Thank you, Brittany. 48 Laws of Power goes over many people, over many things they can do to improve. Thank you. I learned from books. I learned from articles. Yes, if you want to learn, you can learn if you're looking for the information.
I love that she said assimilation is required because the thing is, all you got to do is make sure that you look like you're assimilating to the right people. Don't nobody know what's really going on in your head. Nobody knows.
Just don't open your mouth to prove them wrong. Anyway,
That's it. That's it.
Trey Wilson says, at a certain place I used to work, the dress code had to be enforced. It was like going to the club. Good grief, because they want to show their ever loving tail, and they at work. Remind me
We
of
couldn't
old,
even do spaghetti strap at school. They playing right now.
remind me of call centers back in the day. They had to send a bunch of people home because they don't know how to act. Dial up. Exactly. And see worker. Trey Wilson says, net zero speed dial. I had that too. Get out the phone. I need to use a computer. Yes.
And
Phone tag
that
free after 9. Yes. Now you talking my language, Trey, for sure. Absolutely. Get off the phone. I need to get on the internet. Bell South. Oh Lord. Bell South and net zero. Those were the days. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. You caught it right. Well, you picked up exactly what I was putting down. Brittany says, if you seek it, you shall find it. Thank you very much. Because ain't nobody babying grown folks out here.
yeah.
Nobody else ain't gonna baby you. So why do you expect it from
They
employers?
they've been reared that way. I'm telling you, this begins in the household. That's where you guys are going to see my more traditional side come out, and I'm okay saying it. I do think that all of this starts in the home.
It does.
If you're coddled at home, that's where you are most of your time. So yes, if you're conditioned, you think the world is going to coddle you because your mom and your dad did. So how dare your boss reprimand you? I've never been reprimanded in my life. How dare you?
And then when the world uppercuts you and gives you a couple black eyes and some concussions,
Girl, calling it abuse. And it's like, look, this is how it is out here. Nobody has to care about you out here.
they don't.
No, you know?
Exactly. Trey Wilson says on punishment. No TV, no video game. Oh yes. I almost forgot that summer. I kept their game console for the entire summer. Oh,
Bravo.
them boys was not they was mad at me. But they learned not to act up again. I ain't have to worry about that behavior. No
See, that's what I'm saying.
uppercutting
There's other ways to cut them, y'all. It's other ways to cut
again.
them sometimes.
I just remember they kept begging me, please, can we get the game console, please? No. Their mama, they used to try to, mommy, can you? No,
And
not
they
till
don't
some
they don't
years
care
ago.
about the oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry, show.
Yeah, yeah. They kept trying to get their mama to get it from me. No, I kept it at my house. No,
I
yeah.
love it.
Nancy Worker says, I'd be the husband standing by his wife with the belt in the hand, waiting for her to finish wasting their bed.
No, no. Let me tell you, no, this is what it's supposed to be. You are supposed to stand there with the belt. It is just a threat, y'all. That's all it is. You just have to put the fear of God in them. That's it. And once they see that you're a united front, and it's like,
Yes.
you're not going to go behind me and go to your dad and be giving him puppy eyes.
Mm-hmm,
Y'all all getting
mm-hmm,
treated the same. Okay.
exactly.
You're not going to come to mom because I will tell you that's missing too. Because when one parent can literally is in opposition to the other, you're
Mm-hmm.
showing that there isn't a united front. So no, but if one of the parents is being unreasonable, it's now the job of the other parent to not do it in front of the kids, but to be like, yo, I think you're doing a bit too much. Like you're being
Right,
unreasonable, right? But that's
right,
partnership. That's what that is. And I
exactly.
think with Gen Z again, and millennials too, I don't know about everybody else, but it's like, no, we sometimes it's uneven because if you only have one of those parents,
Hmm.
There's going to be too much of something and not enough of another thing,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
But I think in that case, I would not, yes, I might be wasting my time and energy, sir. But the point is, you're standing there and we're a united front and we're like, yo, you're not getting past this brick wall, kid.
No,
So
no.
fold, go to bed, do what you got to do, go to bed hungry. I don't care.
Mhm.
Do what you got to do, but I still love you. Goodbye.
There you go. Exactly. Trails, it says the art of peace, the art of war depends on the environment. Very true.
Thank you.
Very true. Very true. Trails,
Adaptability.
says you can't play today. One mistake and you're home. You better tell them. Ain't no time to play right here, especially now. Okay. The cost of living with some of these places, Ryan. Okay.
I
Play with
just
your
feel
life.
like we see it differently because you and I are independent women. So we see it differently. There is not a parent where, and listen, I didn't know I could go back to my mama's house until recently, y'all. She told me straight up, like, look, kid, if you got to call it in, everybody gets one. I've been out of my mama's house over 20 years. I don't plan on going back, y'all. But she let me know, hey, look, just so you know,
Listen.
daughter. No, for
This,
real, because we never talked about it. And she just wanted to let me know. She's like, look, I know you're working hard. If you ever need to come home, you can. That is what parents are supposed to do. It is not supposed to be, oh, I live with my mama and that's just how my life is gonna be. No. Mother's house is a Hail Mary for me. So I think that you and I are different in the sense different from Gen Z in the sense that we know who we got to pay on the first of the month. We know who puts groceries in our house. We know who keeps the lights on. We're not relying on mother and father. If anything, we'd be taking care of mother and father. So that's what I'm saying. You and I have a totally different experience. A lot of Gen Z don't know what that's like to have to pay a bill and empty out their bank account to make sure all the bills get paid. They know paying mom and dad $150 a month, if that. That's what they know. That's what I'm saying. And but so I think you and I, again, like I said, we have a different experience. The people in the chat even have a different experience than these Gen Zs because we know what it's like to be out there and sometimes not know if your bills are gonna get paid. Why do you think I even went into starting my business with credit repair, y'all? It's because I've been there.
it,
That's
this,
the whole point.
looking at the looking at this situation, this is not just about career. This is an economic conversation.
Facts.
Because if Gen Z is in this spot now, you have 20 to 26, 27 year olds that are still living with mama. Mama's still doing job applications for you. I started working when I was 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy and daddy didn't go to that first McDonald's interview with me then, and I was actually still a kid.
Girl.
Like, come on. So it's a level of independence that's missing. I couldn't wait to go make my own money so I can go do what I want and I can go to the mall and buy this for myself.
Oh, that was the best.
Listen, it's
To
a
buy your own lunch or like, oh, that was so
okay.
good. So
Wait,
good.
you could go to McDonald's and
Mm-hmm.
get your own have you get your own full blown meal. Share with
Girl.
your little friends. Girl.
The first time I had sushi, I was 17 years old and I bought it with my own money. And I was so just
That
beside
is
myself with happiness. I was like, oh my God,
mm,
I bought this and I'm just trying it on my own. Like, this is so great. I love it.
it tastes real good because you bought it with your own money, right?
Girl, and to
Okay.
this day, the very first sushi I ever had was spicy tuna. And I'm gonna tell
Ooh.
you, see, I'm very sensory and I remember things very well,
Mhm.
like poignant moments. I was at the Beverly Center, and I remember even catching the bus to go to the Beverly Center was like a big deal for me. And
Mhm.
I was by myself, and I saw this sushi place across the street, and I said, okay, before I get on the bus to go back home, which was like almost a 2 hour ride, y'all. Beverly Hills all the way to the South Bay. Oh my God. Kidding
Wow.
me? So, and I was sitting, I sat in the back of the bus and I remember I had my backpack on and I had on some black Pumas. I remember. And I just ate that sushi and I was like, it's kind of smelly, but it's so good. And I remember, and to this day, that's my favorite flavor, spicy tuna.
See,
because
there
of
you
that. Yeah.
go. Okay. All right now.
See, I have those memories that I can attach to my independence. And I
So
and I and I wish that Gen Z had that. I'm smiling as I look back on when I was first started working and
mm,
paid my first bill and got my first car, and like I look to those memories with fondness. It doesn't
yeah,
scare me.
no.
Gen Z doesn't will miss out on that, and it
Some
sucks.
of them will. Some of them got it together now. Let's be clear.
Yeah, it's not all of
Mm,
y'all. I'm sorry.
yeah,
It's not everybody.
yeah. Some of them got it together, but the ones where the parents coddling them or they want to be coddled and have this entitlement, they're
Mm-mm.
in for a rude awakening because the
Facts.
world is not going to be kind to you. Trey Wilson says, got that surprise beaten one time when I didn't bring home any progress reports. Oh, you thought hiding that,
Whoa,
you
whoa,
thought hiding that
whoa.
report card was gonna get woke me up to deep
Oh my
sleep. We get
god.
yup. Oh yeah, don't play, cause they know when the progress report's coming out, cause they give the parents the list of when stuff is coming out, and
Oh
if the
my.
progress report ain't that good, you be like, oh, we didn't get none. Don't lie, 'cause all you gotta do is make a phone call up to the school.
Girl, and sometimes parents don't be paying attention neither. Because my mom sent me a screenshot of my attendance in 10th grade the other day, and she's like, "Did you ever go to school?" And I was like, "Yeah, mom." Like, you don't remember? Well, she was a working mom, so she couldn't watch me all the time. And she's like, "How did you get through 10th grade?" She was that aloof, y'all. I mean, she was there, but she was aloof. She was busy, you know. And I was like,
Uh,
"Mom," 'cause I knew how to finagle it. That's what it was.
I'm gonna tell
And
you,
yeah,
you lucky you got off that easy, cause
girl, when I saw that attendance record, I was like, I don't even remember doing that shit. I mean, that
listen,
stuff, girl. I
my,
was like,
my mother worked two jobs, and my dad worked a lot. But together, they were the driving force. I could never pull that off. Are you crazy?
girl, I was a master, man. I'm gonna actually
No,
ask the chat. Did you ever ditch school?
they would have. I would listen. The one time I thought I was gonna get away with it, they told my behind up, girl. I'd be driving.
Really, girl, girl.
How about I was cutting class? No, absolutely not.
I know somebody in this chat used to ditch school. Y'all don't do that. Don't
Mm-mm.
do me like that, y'all.
No, I said I cut a couple of classes, not school,
Oh
and
no,
that
I never
was.
ditched the whole day. No, it was
Mhm.
I can say it now since I'm out of the school system, but I oh god, maybe I shouldn't say it because my kids will be the ones to be like, "Mom, remember that live stream where you said you ditched like half of 10th grade?" No, I did, y'all. 10th grade was just there was something about 10th grade and it didn't speak to my soul. And every morning I was like, I don't need to be here. So I would literally go to school, check in, of course, and the gate was always open. You just walk right out. It's fine. You walk out, you come back maybe
See, this
lunchtime,
this
possibly.
this is where Gen X. I'm with you on that, Trey. This is where Gen X
I should not have said
and
nothing.
no
I shouldn't have told
differ,
her that. I shouldn't have
because
told her.
I no I would not. You right, NC worker, absolutely not. No, Trey, and nope, couldn't try that ever. Tried it once, it
Whatever,
backfired bad.
yeah.
Yes,
Whatever.
I can personally attest to that
Yeah,
happening to me.
yeah, tripping. Yeah, tripping.
No, I'm not tripping. My behind was tripping after it got whooped. I was
And
playing
no, and you know what it was too? I can
again.
tell you, and this is why I think I got away with it. It was technology. So do you remember where you used to be able to call the house, but if your caller ID was blocked, the call wouldn't come through? Or we had it set up to where you had to announce who you were when you called the house. Like there was some setting in the because my mom worked for the phone company, so we had like all the features and stuff. And if they had an automated system they created, so if I missed school, the automated system would call, but it would never make it through the AI to get to the actual answering machine. I knew this very early, so that's how I took advantage of it. It was like, so what, you're not going to know I missed because the technology can't get through to the phone.
Mhm.
Congratulations, technology. You screwed it up because now we
Mhm.
can ditch and nobody's going to know.
Yeah, that didn't exist when I was in school.
What and now
I
is Trey? Is Trey from Jamaica too?
don't know. Nope, it said Trey wouldn't even try that. And that was when I was here. NC Worker says whenever I had a bad morning before school, my parents would call to see if
Oh
and where
wow.
I was in school. Exactly.
That's so cool.
Exactly. We had to wear uniforms. Yep. Well, in Jamaica, yeah, absolutely, we did have to wear uniforms. So, and that's how they were able to spot what students are where too in Jamaica.
I love the uniform policy. I
Yeah.
wish that all schools here did that. That'd be
That's a
great.
way to figure out exactly. Trace from Florida. Yeah. Oh yeah. There are certain
Okay.
schools back in the day. Private schools, in some cases, still wear uniforms. So
Mhm.
yeah. So it just
Mhm.
depends on what generation you came up with and what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
Now, I have another question. Who, in this situation where employers are not real jazzed about hiring Gen Zs, we've described different reasons why. Who's right? The employers, Gen Z, or both? Or do they both have viable stakes in how their relationship is forming or not forming in this case? Or
Yeah.
if their relationships are forming, it doesn't it doesn't last very long. Like for me personally, I don't think employers have to put up with subpar employees. And that's coming from just being a professional, but at the same token, what is a subpar employee? Is it that they can't be trained, or is it that they're missing viable skills they should already have coming into the workplace?
Mhm.
Did you interview well?
Right.
Did you provide the employer with the assurance that you can do the job based on the resume or based on the discussions you had in that interview? Or you said you got this college degree and you said you had all these skills, and when they got you in there, you ended up making a rucksack of a mess.
Oh, what? Some of
you,
your sayings, I'd be like, where you get that from,
you
girl?
made a hot, wretched mess of the situation instead of making it better.
Wait, what did you say before though?
Rucksack of a mess.
A ruck shuck?
Of
A
a mess.
ruck shuck. I know that's Jamaican. That gotta be Jamaican.
No, not necessarily. I hear country people say that all the time.
A ruck shuck. Okay.
Exactly. Are they, like, who's right here? I think
Yeah.
I think everybody has a part to play in this whole situation because employers need human resources or the humans to complete certain tasks in order for it to feed their bottom line, in order for it to help their staff,
Mhm.
or to produce for the company. You're getting hired to complete these tasks. Can you do them with the necessary job skills, soft skills, technical skills to the employer satisfaction based on what is on your job description? If you're not able to do the job, they're not going to keep you. So there's always bad employers. Let's be clear. Not all of them are good. There's always going to be Gen Zers that you're like, good Lord, how did you graduate college? Because you're absolutely useless at this point.
Mhm.
And of course, the majority of them don't fit in that category. But for those that run into some level of not discrimination, but employers are shying away from hiring when they realize it's a form of ageism in a sense. But age should not be the determining factor in any employer hiring someone to do a job. Their job performance should determine that, not how old they are, not how they claim they want to be, but what they actually do when they get in the job. Okay, because people can say whatever they want. Oh, I'm this and I am the best thing since sliced bread, and come in there and be like, what?
Right.
So it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
NC worker, bad morning translation. Did I do something or got disciplined before school? Then report card time comes. Wonder why my grades aren't satisfactory. NC worker says kind of hard to concentrate in school when your butt and your back looks like
Girl, I was a Kutankatin Kente, and I was like,
Kunta
oh, Kunta
Kinte.
Kinte.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Kunta
no,
Kinte.
your name is Toby now. Say it.
Lord.
Say it, little
Bring
man.
training skills at work back. Yeah, make it fun, give tools to succeed. There are some employers that that's part of your requirements to be in the position. They do have training classes. They do have training modules where you learn via video or you learn via live training with specialists and consultants that come in to do those training. All training is all well and good. How are you going to implement that training? How are you going to implement what you learned in your role?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to develop as a professional? Your professional development is not up to your employer. Your professional development is up to you. You're responsible for that. I don't care whether you're a Gen Z, X, the silent generation, or the one that's coming.
Yeah.
Your professional development is part of your economic development because your professional development feeds your economic development. And your own personal economy is tied to that ching that you make. And if you ain't got soft skills and your professionalism isn't there, you could kiss that money goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear.
Girl, why is NC worker cutting up? When you get to that comment, oh my God.
Nancy Worker says, Dad had my classmates wondering why I was fighting with Sarah. Oh, God. Nancy Worker, oh, your daddy was not nice to you. You,
He said
mm,
fighting Zorro with
oh,
his
Lord.
back.
Because Zorro with you remember the show Zorro?
That's
How
what I'm like.
everybody he fought and beat, he put the mark in their back.
NC worker, babe, blink if you was abused, okay? Like you better.
That's, anywho.
Hey, your daddy was rough, player.
Yeah,
I'm
he was.
over here trying to beat technology just so I can go to the donut shop in 10th grade every morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was all
But
good, clean fun, you know?
but at the end of the day, listen, I'm all about forming solutions and
Yeah.
coming up with solutions for the issue because at the end of the day, these Gen Zers have to, or if you have any, any hopes of succeeding in the real world,
Hmm.
um, what are the solutions? They can find professional development resources, online or offline. How much you willing to spend? You can start off small by using YouTube University. Um, Professional development is something that you can learn by purchasing my book from Coolest Teenage to Consummate Professional. 7 steps to getting the career in life you want, because it's written for that generation.
Hmm.
Because a lot of them are starting off in the job market, and clearly there's some of them are having some issues and some problems. So we got to help them resolve that. My book is one resource. There are Udemy courses on professional development, developing these soft skills that are so needed in a lot of roles that are out there. I'm not up here just keying and making fun and talking. I realize it's a real issue. But if you really want to solve a problem, let's get to the root of it. If your mama is coddling you, it's not going to help you. It's going to hurt you in the long run. Mom, I really want to do this on my own. Take some initiative. You're a grown adult now. It's time to take some
Mm,
initiative.
facts.
And parents, please stop coddling your children. You are going to make them children for 50 years, not 18. If you keep doing that, there's nothing more annoying than a 40-year-old woman or man that is still absolutely dependent on their parents.
Hmm.
It is unnerving for me. Let me get to the next comment. NC worker, I told one of my friends that I had a PhD
You know what?
with a concentration in foot school parents.
See, yeah.
NC worker,
Well,
I
don't be
gotta
whooping
work.
your
I gotta
kid.
borrow that word. Ooh, you gonna have me kiki with my other girlfriends with that word right there.
You guys, that's why you don't whoop the kids. Come on.
Ooh, Jesus. All right, flower child. Let's see if they when they start acting up and they're not listening to the woo woo talk that you're gonna give them and see what you say then.
No, like I said, they daddy gonna be standing there with a belt, looking
Well,
menacing.
all right.
And then we go in the bedroom, we gonna be laughing about it. We gonna be like,
But
"Ha, them kids, they scared as
because
hell. Look at them."
you have some of these children that will test your gangster, and
That's true.
you might have to remind them of who you really are.
I was a
Okay,
handful as a kid, so I know. That's why I said I say I ain't gonna beat them now, but I don't know.
because if they're anything like you go tear somebody up.
Hey, that's one thing my granny did, man. She told me she was like she always told this story about how I was at Disneyland, and I remember this, which is so crazy. I had to be like 3 or 4. She said I hopped out of line. I had a little skirt on and some little socks and little little cute shoes they put you in. She said I hopped out of that line. I looked back at my mom and I told her, "Don't you tell me no." Like she told me no about something, and she said I hopped out of line and made it a production. And then my mom asked my granny, "What do I do with her?" And then my granny said, "Whoop her." But I don't think I got a whooping that day because my granny said, "Yeah, your mom didn't hit you that day." She said you didn't get no whooping. But she used to always laugh about that. And I'm like, my granny's laughing. I was such a defiant little kid. I'm like, Granny, hey, that's not funny.
Oh, dare you tell me no? I said, oh, you want to stay here by yourself?
Oh, she loved it. And I must have had my mom shook that day because she was probably like, who is this little gremlin? Did I give birth to this? Like, who is this
Listen,
child?
you listen to me. You are lucky you didn't have to experience the wrath of mine. Because if you want to act up in public, you want us to be a public spectacle. The next thing you was going to do is get snatched up.
Hey. But for the record, you guys, I did get whoopings as a kid. But
I
at that
know.
time, I think I was so young, my mom wasn't going to do that. She was kind of like, whoa, who is this kid? Like, because you know how sometimes
No,
you could say, no, come on. You're going to have a moment if you have kids where they're going to do something and it's going to throw you off so much, you're not going to have a response. You're going to be like, where the hell did that come from, kid? I can't even beat you because I'm that shocked right now. Like, and these people, oh God, they're watching me. I can't kick your ass because they're watching me. You know what you're doing. you little turd. Okay, anyway, y'all. But no, that story makes me laugh. I mean, my granny, she's not here with us anymore, but she used to tell that story back to back to back. It cracked her up. And I think it's just because she saw my mom get a taste of what motherhood looks like. Like, hey, you're going to have to make decisions when your kids act up like this. What are you going to do? You know?
For
Yeah.
sure.
The NC worker sounded like he had a hard time. I'm sorry, brother.
Auntie Worker said, "No, my dad truly did and does love me, of course, but
Of course.
he wanted to make sure you were a young man that was respectable."
True.
Said, "Yeah, he bring him to my."
Facts, facts,
Auntie
facts.
Worker, listen, I completely understand. They want you to be respectful adults, but some young people you can talk to them. Some people, some young people you have to put the fear of God in them.
True.
And some young people, you just have to tear their behinds up for them to get fit, for them to get some understanding. Bless God, amen. Oh Lord. Now, let me see, let me make sure we have everything here. All right. A little ear twist, yup. Or skin pinch, always got the point across. Cause
Oh God.
I'm gonna tell you, I used to cut up in church. That's where I used to cut up, cause that's where they had me in church. And I was that kid that couldn't stay still. I was always touching something or
Mm-hmm.
this or
Curious.
the hymnal. And if you don't leave me long enough with the hymnals, I'm gonna rip a little page out. Okay, I was that fidgety kid. My mother looked over and she gave me that look. See, now I got these pair of eyes from her, and she give me that look. And if she give me that look more than once, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see her hand reach over and pinch and ring. Oh my God, those things hurt like crazy. Yes. When I tell you, she didn't play no games. She did not play no games. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah. Victoria will be right back. Yep. A little ear pinch goes a long way. NC Worker says, to be fair, um, my dad talked to me before, during, and after the discipline. Yup. It's one of them. What did I say? Yep. You got talked through the whole process. Trust me, I feel you on that. No, no problem. I definitely understand. Now, guys, um, what I also want to offer and make sure you understand is that at the end of the day, I want to make sure that Gen Z has what they need to develop their skills to also improve their reputation. I know some of them don't want to kowtow to the man, but in order for them to survive economically, in order for them to thrive economically, they are going to have to assimilate in some way, shape, or form to be able to learn what it is that they need to learn to get to the place where they need to get to, so they can become better professionals down the line, and also um, and also be able to function optimally in the job market and not be left not to have the world beat them up, so to speak. Trey Wilson says, falling asleep in church if you want to get great grandma would talk through her teeth. Yes, wake up. Yep, you know it. Wake your tail up and not embarrass me before I pick your tail in front of these people. Yep, absolutely. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it, Trey. My dad would pitch my arm and pinch my arm and turn it. Yes, those pinches hurt like so. Oh my goodness. Like he was taking the gas top off the ball. Because they would have tried to ring off your stand.
Yeah, what
Oh
in the
Lord.
world?
Yeah, them pinches hurt. Like
I
they're
cannot
so
imagine a man like pinching me or hitting me because men are just stronger. I
yeah, and
would
their hands
rather
are
not.
rough.
That's
Oh,
what I'm saying. That's why I'm
yeah.
like, no, the dad, if you're gonna have to be oh, never mind. If you're gonna have to do corporal punishment, please do it to the boys. Don't do that to my girls. Don't do that.
Lord, Lord, here we go.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna
Don't do
let
it to the
I'm gonna
little
let you
girl.
have that. I'm gonna let you have that.
That would break my heart. Like if my dad actually was there and he hit me, I'd be so hurt.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I would never recover. I'm telling you, I'm so sensitive like that. I would never recover. I'd be like, Dad, you don't love me. Dad, like, remember that one time? Remember that one time? I probably
Oh,
totally deserved it, but do you remember?
you're such a flower child.
I
You
am. Like, I'm so stern on one
you
end,
weren't
but then on another, I'm so like free. Like, no, guys, just let them be themselves. It's
you
okay.
you weren't born in that generation, but you certainly give flower child energy for sure.
Girl, and I got whoopings. Don't, like I say, y'all, I got beat. I love my mom, but it was times where I was like, well, babe, I think this is too much. Can you relax? Like, wait, you had a bad day,
Like
huh?
you wasn't given all kind of issues. Come
Girl,
on.
because I was like, girl, I ain't do this. That's a little strong for what you giving me right now.
Right.
I'd be like, who
But
hurt you?
Henry Worker says, my dad was an equal opportunist. I have two sisters and I'm the only boy. Listen, you act
Oh,
up, you get it. Simple.
my little
So
brother actually only got one whooping in his whole life.
that's probably because your brother listened and didn't want no more.
No, it's actually because he's young millennial and he's the baby. So they never like ever, ever, ever. As a matter of fact, when he got a whooping, I even got sad because I was like, dang, that's the only one he's ever gonna get. And he's old enough that he's gonna remember this. Like I wasn't even excited because sometimes you'd be happy, you'd be like, yes, they're getting in trouble, not me. I was so
Oh,
sad.
no, you
I
didn't.
swear
No,
I was
you
so
didn't.
sad. I was like, oh man, like I didn't want him to get a whooping for what he did. I was like, oh God, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah, you got let NC Worker. You got to learn from. I'm the youngest out of the two. I learned from my older sister. I don't want to get whooped for the same thing she did. I'm making sure I get home early because she used to get in Jamaica. She used to get home from school late, and that was a reason to get your behind toe out the frame.
Mm.
I made sure I got home because I don't want to get that whooping at all.
And Gen Z never really. Do you think they were latchkey kids at all?
Some of them, because
That was part of my defiance. I was a latchkey kid, so it's
I
like,
was a latchkey kid too, but I was a latchkey kid that um there was more. It was safer for us back then.
mm,
It was, and a lot more kids. Now let's not to say that I didn't try to defy authority. Let's be clear,
mm,
but that one taste of that punishment and whooping, I had to cut that down. I had to stop in my tracks. So, yeah, you learn from your older siblings
yeah.
what not to do. Like, oh, I'm not gonna go down that route. Woo!
Because you're the younger sibling, right, Shell?
Yeah, I'm a younger
And I'm
sibling.
in the middle. I didn't learn a damn thing.
Well, you forge your own path, flower child.
Now you guys can see why I'm kind of both, because my brother got the more flower child upbringing, and then me and my older brother got more disciplinary. But as we
Mhm.
got older, my mom had to work more because more
Mhm.
expenses, your kids are getting older.
Yeah.
So she didn't really have the bandwidth to give us 100% like, oh, I'm gonna catch every single little thing you do. Some of
Here,
it too,
and
she was
no
just
parent,
like,
and no ever parent can ever do that, especially when you have more than one kid and you have
yeah.
a job to work and things of that nature. So that's understandable. But at the end of the day, the discipline, what they were trying to do is make sure that you became responsible adults in
Hmm.
whatever way, shape, or form that they knew how based on what they learned and what they were taught when they were growing up. Some of those ways were borderline abusive, but I
That's why I'm
mean,
like, ooh, yeah.
some of us went through it. And Trey Wilson said, told my mom no, no one time. Started bobbing and weaving like I saw stars. Did did
I'm
what I
done.
was told. Better be in by the time the street lights came on. You better say it.
Now that
That
we
is,
did have. I made the mistake of coming home after dark before, and I never did that
did
again.
again. You the middle child. Yep. So it is definitely middle children unite. At the end of the day, folks, we want to make sure that these Gen Zers have what they need. I'm here to help in whatever way, shape, or form I can, either through my consultations at mentorshelley.com/consultations or the book From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional because it fits this generation.
Yeah.
Now, will they read it? We pray that they do if they're looking for the information. But if they don't, oh, help us.
Yeah.
Shadow Dragon says, "Sorry, I'm late to the live stream. No, I didn't skip school, and also, I think it depends on the parent. If they were putting the kid in sports or after school events, that's also a piece of it too. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
a difference.
it
That
does.
really does make a difference. And some of the kids, they're more well adjusted than others, but
Yeah.
um, the coddling is not helping, and the lack of skills like soft skills is really where it's not the technical skills that they're missing because that's what they learned in college if they're majoring in something specific, or they may have learned in other jobs before they went into the corporate world or went into their professional type of job. I think a lot of them either are not, they're coming out of college and that may be their first job. That might be some of it too. They may be
Yeah.
starting in the job market later on versus when we were
Hmm.
coming up. I started off, my first job was at Arby's as a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
then McDonald's, and then I ended up working retail and all these other places. But
Yeah.
I started off in the workforce early, even when I
Hmm.
was going to school and then when I was going to college, versus some of the kids where their first job is not in high school, it's not in college, it's actually once they graduate. So of course some of
Yeah.
their soft skills have may not have had the opportunity to develop. So it's up to them to
Hmm.
take the time and to take the initiative to develop them. Communication skills is key because we don't communicate the same in the world anymore.
Right.
Problem solving skills is so key. critical thinking skills. I didn't even bring this up earlier. Oh man, absolutely needed. And professional, how to conduct yourself in a professional environment. All of that is absolutely necessary. And a lot of them don't have it. And they do need to work on developing that in order
Mm-hmm.
to really stand out in the job market and to really eradicate this reputation of them being lazy and unwilling to learn and being entitled, as some people would label them. Okay. Of
Yeah.
course, Trey, of course, you're going to send those links to Miss Victoria here for
Mm-hmm.
tech sales. Yeah, you can drop it in the chat for us, of course. And of course, guys, you guys have been here, and both Miss Victoria here and I have been having this wonderful discussion, having a good time with you guys. But also, I want you guys to be aware, if you know any Gen Zers that are looking for help in the credit space for, let me see here, let me go ahead. And for the financial coaching, go ahead and I'm going to put her links in the chat. Grab these links. Go ahead and have them schedule a call at mycreditcall.com. Or if they are looking for help in the, let's see here, let me make sure I have this right. And if they want to join her group, her free group on Facebook, they can get with her there and ask their general questions. And of course, if the questions get more in depth, of course, you guys would book a call. Now, if you are a Gen Zer that's wanting to start your own business, which a lot of them, they are very entrepreneurial because they don't like they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up to the man. They don't want to have to kowtow to the man. They want to start their own stuff.
I
Nothing wrong.
think that's the best link to share for this
Yeah,
conversation tonight.
yeah,
Because I don't think all is lost with y'all Gen Zers. I want
yeah,
to make that clear. And I do
yeah.
believe in autonomy. So if
Mm.
you if you don't like the workforce, hey, don't
Start
rock the boat. Don't try to change
absolutely.
it.
Start your own. And if
Yeah.
you want to get started with your own business, go ahead and get the small business blueprint. Let me make sure I
Hmm.
get that right. Small business blueprint at Solutions University at thinkific.com. Of course, I have been telling you guys about the book From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional, which would work perfectly for Gen Zers and help them to get their whole professional profile and their professionalism and how to present themselves in the job market, from soup to nuts, from what you want to do to how you present yourself in an interview. All of that is covered in that book. And of course, guys, let me see here. Go ahead, Trey. Trey may have to copy the link and go from here. Start with the free intro. Absolutely. I definitely want you guys to have what you need. Please forward this over to any Gen Zers that you know that may be in the position where they're looking to improve their professional to improve themselves professionally, to improve themselves with soft skills, to improve themselves in how to present themselves in the job market and not feel like they're lost in the sauce and they don't have to bring their parents with them. They have to learn this on their own. And of course, guys, if you have questions in regards to for Victoria, you can go to Credit Solutionist on YouTube, and you can find me at Mentor Shelley here on the YouTube channel, or you can find me at mentorshelley.com. That is my website. And leave a question. You can always click on the right side of the website. You see a leave voice message. You literally can click on that and leave me a voice message, and I return that within 24 hours. Victoria, any last words?
Absolutely. Gen Z, a lot of this is not your fault. I know we made a lot of jokes tonight, but I know that you grew up a lot differently than us older millennials and Gen X and the generations before. Not your fault. The only thing I can recommend is just know that when we speak this way to y'all, we're speaking from experience. Though some of us appear burned out, whatever, we're still here and we're still pretty excited about what life has for us. If anything, through all these economic changes and catastrophes through our lives that we've had, we know that things always can get better. So a lot of it is just you taking initiative, knowing that all the work you're going to put in is going to be for something. And sometimes it is going to feel like you're doing it for nothing. And it is what it is. But each thing is a stepping stone into like the best version of yourself, as Mentor Shelley says, right? I never thought having a career at, I don't know, 21, 22, that I would start my own business. I didn't come from a family of business owners. I decided one day, hey, I'm a little defiant. Maybe I should try this myself and start a business. And that's what I did. I didn't wait for other people to tell me to do it. So sometimes you will need the guidance, but other times you will have to literally muster it up from somewhere deep inside of you and just have some faith in what you're doing and the path that you're going down. That's all I'm going to say. I was very flower child tonight, and don't beat your kids.
All right, guys, this is Mentor Shelley, and the credit solution is Victoria Langford. Definitely enjoyed the live stream tonight with everybody that participated. Trey Wilson, we learned a whole lot more about you tonight for sure.
And NC worker.
Shadow Dragon, NC Worker. Let's see here. Still Rocks. I saw him on my earlier live stream. Let's see here. And everyone that came in and didn't say a word, but listened to what we talked about. Brittany,
He said we need to
Brittany
start with it.
Barnett, AM1 that came in earlier in the live stream, and everyone, it's me or Miss Doe, that also came in the live stream, and everyone that joined us for this incredible conversation. At the end of the day, folks, I'm here to help you to become a better professional. And oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And Miss Langford is here to help your credit become what you need it to be so you can make the type of power moves you want to make in this economy.
And
All
that's
right,
my
guys.
heart, guys.
All
Hugs,
right.
not drugs. Hugs, not switches.
This is Mentor Shelley and Victor.
Victoria Langford, the credit solutionist.
Yes, here to help you to become a better professional. Beatings, not whoopings. Oh Lord, NC worker. You guys have a wonderful night.
Bye
Credit Solutions
bye.
and Mentor Shelley over and out. Good night.